It is difficult to free fools from the chains they revere. Common sense is not so common. Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. God gave us the gift of life. It is up to us to give ourselves the gift of living well. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. It is not love that should be depicted as blind, but self-love. Paradise was made for tender hearts, hell for loveless hearts. To the living we owe respect, but to the dead we owe only the truth. Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. Faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe. It is better to risk saving a guilty man than to condemn an innocent one. Love is a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by imagination. The art of medicine consists in amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. Illusion is the first of all pleasures. The best government is a benevolent tyranny tempered by an occasional assassination. No problem can withstand the assault of sustained thinking. Life is thickly sown with thorns, and I know no other remedy than to pass quickly through them. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. It is dangerous to be right in matters on which the established authorities are wrong. Optimism is the madness of insisting that all is well when we are miserable. It is forbidden to kill. Therefore all murderers are punished unless they kill in large numbers and to the sound of trumpets. Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is absurd. What is tolerance? It is the consequence of humanity. We are all formed of frailty and error. Let us pardon reciprocally each other's folly. That is the first law of nature. God is not on the side of the big battalions, but on the side of those who shoot best. My life is a struggle. We must cultivate our own garden. When man was put in the Garden of Eden, he was put there so that he should work, which proves that man was not born to rest. When it is a question of money, everybody is of the same religion. Each player must accept the cards life deals him or her. But once they are in hand, he or she alone must decide how to play the cards in order to win the game. Tears are the silent language of grief. Injustice in the end produces independence. Think for yourselves and let others enjoy the privilege to do so, too. The Holy Roman Empire is neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. It is lamentable that to be a good patriot one must become the enemy of the rest of mankind. I have never made but one prayer to God, a very short one. O Lord, make my enemies ridiculous. And God granted it. Is there anyone so wise as to learn by the experience of others? History is only the register of crimes and misfortunes. Man is free at the moment he wishes to be. If God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. Tyrants have always some slight shade of virtue. They support the laws before destroying them. Perfection is attained by slow degrees. It requires the hand of time. The husband who decides to surprise his wife is often very much surprised himself. To hold a pen is to be at war. The secret of being a bore is to tell everything. It is said that the present is pregnant with the future. The true triumph of reason is that it enables us to get along with those who do not possess it. In general, the art of government consists of taking as much money as possible from one class of citizens to give to another. Better is the enemy of good. The best is the enemy of the good. All the reasonings of men are not worth one sentiment of women. Superstition is to religion what astrology is to astronomy, the mad daughter of a wise mother. These daughters have too long dominated the earth. Opinion has caused more trouble on this little earth than plagues or earthquakes. Ice cream is exquisite. What a pity it isn't illegal. To succeed in the world, it is not enough to be stupid, you must also be well-mannered. A witty saying proves nothing. It is not enough to conquer, one must learn to seduce. The ear is the avenue to the heart. We never live. We are always in the expectation of living. The mouth obeys poorly when the heart murmurs. I am very fond of truth, but not at all of martyrdom. Chance is a word void of sense. Nothing can exist without a cause. Originality is nothing but judicious imitation. The most original writers borrowed one from another. If God created us in His own image, we have more than reciprocated. It is not sufficient to see and to know the beauty of a work. We must feel and be affected by it. Of all religions, the Christian should of course inspire the most tolerance, but until now Christians have been the most intolerant of all men. Men use thought only as authority for their injustice, and employ speech only to conceal their thoughts. What a heavy burden is a name that has become too famous. Clever tyrants are never punished. Very learned women are to be found, in the same manner as female warriors, but they are seldom or ever inventors. All men are born with a nose and 5 fingers, but no one is born with a knowledge of God. What most persons consider as virtue, after the age of 40 is simply a loss of energy. The first step, my son, which one makes in the world, is the one on which depends the rest of our days. We must distinguish between speaking to deceive and being silent to be reserved. The world embarrasses me, and I cannot dream that this watch exists and has no watchmaker. It is one of the superstitions of the human mind to have imagined that virginity could be a virtue. What then do you call your soul? What idea have you of it? You cannot of yourselves, without revelation, admit the existence within you of anything but a power unknown to you of feeling and thinking. I have lived 80 years of life and know nothing for it, but to be resigned and tell myself that flies are born to be eaten by spiders and man to be devoured by sorrow. He was a great patriot, a humanitarian, a loyal friend, provided, of course, he really is dead. Divorce is probably of nearly the same date as marriage. I believe, however, that marriage is some weeks the more ancient. This self-love is the instrument of our preservation. It resembles the provision for the perpetuity of mankind. It is necessary, it is dear to us, it gives us pleasure, and we must conceal it. It is not known precisely where angels dwell, whether in the air, the void, or the planets. It has not been God's pleasure that we should be informed of their abode. The instruction we find in books is like fire. We fetch it from our neighbors, kindle it at home, communicate it to others, and it becomes the property of all. Let the punishments of criminals be useful. A hanged man is good for nothing. A man condemned to public works still serves the country, and is a living lesson. Wherever there is a settled society, religion is necessary. The laws cover manifest crimes, and religion covers secret crimes. Love has features which pierce all hearts. He wears a bandage which conceals the faults of those beloved. He has wings, he comes quickly and flies away the same. The little may contrast with the great, in painting, but cannot be said to be contrary to it. Oppositions of colors contrast. But there are also colors contrary to each other, that is, which produce an ill effect because they shock the eye when brought very near it. Woe to the makers of literal translations, who by rendering every word weaken the meaning. It is indeed by so doing that we can say the letter kills and the spirit gives life. When men do not have healthy notions of the divinity, false ideas supplant them, just as in bad times one uses counterfeit money when there is no good money. Such is the feebleness of humanity, such is its perversity, that doubtless it is better for it to be subject to all possible superstitions, as long as they are not murderous, than to live without religion. Religion was instituted to make us happy in this life and in the other. What must we do to be happy in the life to come? Be just. The flowery style is not unsuitable to public speeches or addresses, which amount only to compliment. The lighter beauties are in their place when there is nothing more solid to say. But the flowery style ought to be banished from a pleading, a sermon, or a didactic work.